Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Truthcast. I had a lamp malfunction here right before I got on, and I need a new lamp, I must say. How is everybody? Good to see you on this Monday evening. I hope you all had a great weekend. I know I did. It was very productive, and I enjoyed my time with you Saturday night. Um, Let me get to the comments, see who's first in the Sned Shed tonight. By the way, before I do that, give me a 5-5 if I'm coming through loud and clear. I had some mic problems the other night. So please, yeah, get me, get me on. Give me a 5-5. Diane, thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you. All right. Sounded good. All right. Let's get back to it. Mr. Sciatica first in the Sned Shed this evening. Good to see you, Kevin. Evening, Lisa. Hello, sir. Good evening, Dave, Roy, and Sneds. Happy Monday. Lots to talk about tonight. Holy cow, you got that right. Mary Ellen, greetings all. Mikey B, Mr. Sned. Good evening, Sned, Seeds and Newcomers, Florida Sunshine, Auntie Honey. Hello, Dave Jasper, Hawk, Sneds and Seeds. Happy Monday evening from Wisconsin. Hello to you all. Welcome all. Happy Moon Day, Wild West. Hi, folks. Happy Monday to all. Hi, Dave, Daryl. Hello, Nita Bells. Christina, hello all. Barbara, hello. Gay, happy to be here listening while I'm at work. Gay, so glad you're here with us. And what are you doing for work that you can hang out and listen to me? El Woolley, Teresa, hey David Sneds, howdy David Sneds and Seeds, Diana, D Pagato, hello everyone. Hi Hawk, Dave Sneds and Seeds, Maggie, great to see you. Great to see Dave, my brother. Absolutely. Gay, I appreciate you more than you could ever know. Thank you, Gay. I appreciate that. Beautiful, beautiful comment from a beautiful lady. Teresa, yes, and Seeds. Hello, everyone. Not staying online, but just wanted to say hello to everyone. Is anyone watching the debate tomorrow? Okay, so glad you asked. I am going to do a watch party with the debate and then a show afterwards. So, how's that sound? So, shall we get together? It's 9 o'clock Eastern tomorrow night. And what do you say we get together at a quarter till 9 and a quarter till 8 my time, obviously, Central. And yeah, what do you say we do that, my friends? And sorry for coming a little bit late tonight. I just had a lot going on. Hi, D. Good to see you. Gypsy, good evening. So glad you came on, Dave. How are you? I'm doing well. Thank you, Shay, for asking. I've had a very interesting couple days, but all good. Like just getting things done and ooh, really connecting in ways that that I know will benefit you all as well as me in terms of some of the things I have to talk about, and I'll talk more about that. But man, oh man, went down a few rabbit holes, if you will, and. So good evening, Dave, Sned, Seeds, and Jasper. Waken Trillium, good to see you. Viola, good to see you. Bonnie, hello. Yeah. So I'm gonna play it, and I have I have access to what do you call it? Um, ABC, and I'll give you an example of that here in a short while. Jenny, good to see you. Let's see. Good evening. Great to see you all. And I'm glad Penny, for your thoughts. You've gotten 2 Rumble notices. Okay, so I'm on them. Like I'm reaching, I'm communicating with them about that. So I'm so glad to hear that. Double check your notifications, please, on Rumble. Make sure that that you're able to pushing the right buttons at least. Hey, Linda, sorry to hear you're sick. Corrine, hi, Dave and everyone. Good evening. Patty, hi, Dave. Maryland in the house. Awesome. Okay. So tomorrow night, we are. Well, let me show you how I plan on getting it, accessing. Now, I want to show you all something. Karina7, hi, Dave. Love this music. It calms me. Can you tell me how to find it? So glad you're on tonight. Hope you're doing well. Look up on YouTube, Karina, Unique, UNIQ, and it's called, shoot, I always forget this. Art of Silence. I don't know why I have such a brain block on that. Art of Silence by Unique, UNIQ. And yeah, it's I love it as well. Thank you. So my friends, let me take you down a little path here of what I am doing, and so what you're seeing before you is what's called Q streaming. Now, I know some other influencers are involved with this, but I was one of the first, and I was contacted directly, and the CEO watches this show, and was aware of me and wanted me to be a part of it. And so I want to show you a couple things about it. First of all, this is for those of you who are spending like over $100 for things on your television. But this is what we're going to use tomorrow to watch the debate. And so I think I need to log in here. Okay, so go into live TV, and we could go to news channels, right? You got all these news channels.
Hey, the man,
and you've got ABC News Live right here. Okay, this is all live programming.
New babies on the way amid so much grief for that family. When we come back tonight, we have just learned tonight about the loss of a New York sports legend.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
What does it take to be the most watched newscast in America?
The most watched newscast in America, David Muir. He was on those emails, the Podesta emails, and the communication with the Hillary Clinton campaign. So we can watch that tomorrow night. I can also search ABC. Well, here's an example of ABC Denver, ABC Midland, Texas. Obviously, they've got Monday Night Football going tonight, but we can get on this tomorrow night. So I wanted to show you that, but I also want to show you that you can do video on demand. And this is for those of you who want like a lot of entertainment. This is a way to get like all the old TV shows, the old movies, and even new TV shows and new movies for spending a lot less. This is $60 a month. And literally, if you signed up your church or you signed up a few other people, all you need to do is sign up 10 people and you get it for free. You sign up 10 people and you get it for free. So those of you who are spending hundreds of dollars or $150, this is a great option. And there are 32,000 movies. Okay. And they're all like, good movies. Like I just watched a movie called Nice Guys. and you can search it. And I just watched this yesterday as I was doing some work. And, it's a new movie. And so you're going to be able to find like a lot of new movies. And then also you can find television series. And I'll give you an example of something that you think, and there are 5,861 television shows. And so you might find like, okay, let me find like Ted Lasso, for example. That's going to be a hard one to get because it's Apple TV. So if you don't want to spend money on Apple TV and give Apple the money, you can watch it here. And they have 2 seasons. They don't have the 3rd season yet, but they have season 1 and 2. So that's an example. And then you can just watch all this stuff. So now here's the part of it that is really awesome. So we'll watch this tomorrow. We'll watch the debate tomorrow. And here's the great part on live TV. You can watch the sports. You have NBA, you have NFL. And if you do the NFL, you've got NFL Red Zone. Okay. You've got NFL Monday Night. Okay. You can watch every touchdown from every game on Red Zone, and then you can watch all the different teams. There are no blockouts or anything, so you can watch whatever you want. And the same with the NBA, Major League Baseball, all the different teams. You can see them all here. Okay. So, because I do understand that people do like to have the what do you call it, the access to just download some entertainment without the hassle and without all the expense. Teresa, you have Q. Awesome. Oh, there's one thing I wanted to show you here that I forgot to show you, and that is the podcasts. And let me see, the podcasts are down here. And you'll see Truthcast Media, that's me. And that's, we're at the top. And then you have several others, but you have Truthcast Media. So I was streaming to here. I haven't been lately, but I will get back to streaming there because I've had some complications. But we will be streaming there, so you'll be able to watch me on Truthcast Media, and I also plan on putting a lot of other things on there as well. So that's how that works. So I just wanted to share that with you. And how you can sign up through me is you just go to DavidSnedeker.com, and on DavidSnedeker.com, you just scroll down until you see pull money out of Hollywood and big tech, changing out your cable satellite package for half the price and accessing thousands of movies. And I see the landing page is not working. Alrighty then. Well, I'll have to fix that so that you can access it through me. So I'm glad I checked that. So at any rate, this is an opportunity, to kind of unhook. But obviously, a lot of people don't spend $60 a month, but a lot of people spend a lot more. But I tell you, it has everything. I mean, I watched The Mentalist. I watched The Old Columbo, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah. So for those who stream, add up all the streaming services, and if it's more than that, you might want to see like that. Let's see. There's a lot going on in Cali: fires, earthquakes, lightning, rain, hail, flooding, landslides, emergency alerts all weekend and today. Prayers, please. Yes, Jennifer, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I don't have a Fire Stick, but I'm going to get one because I need, right now, if I want to watch Q streaming, I use my computer and I put it up on my my phone, my TV through Apple streaming. So yeah, the deltas for the next couple days look real good, Morgan. I agree with you. We're going to look at that. So yeah, so a lot going on in California, my friends. And yeah, and Michelle, they got all kinds of old westerns on there, actually. Really cool stuff. Um, yeah, it's amazing what they have and how easy it is to access. There is a problem with, for example, sometimes when you pause it or you have to go back, sometimes you have to go out and log back in. So that part I think they're working on, but that's kind of a pain. So yeah, so the Fire Stick, I'm going to use the Fire Stick. Which one do you have, Teresa? Do you have like, is it a 4K or do you have to go to that one? So, but I do have to get that. So, my friends, I just wanted to share that because I'm going to be broadcasting tomorrow night with the debate, and if they shut us down, they shut us down. But most likely, I'll just be on Rumble and X for that because I don't want to deal with YouTube and copyright and Facebook. So the 4K max, okay, and yours is 4K, Sharon. Cool. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I need to get one of those. Cool. Let's watch it together and then have a little chat afterwards. What do you say? All, all right, my friends. So let's get into the um, uh, the happenings. It's really, I mean, do you feel like the absolute level of cray cray that is happening right now? I mean, for crying out loud, what's this about? The Haitians eating cats, and now you've got all these memes of cats voting for Trump, and yeah, so it's getting kind of crazy. And you know what? Some of you are not much TV fans. Uh, Vicky, you have to have at least a third generation Fire TV. Okay, good. Um, so this is and the other thing, the same poster. I want to say, I don't think people wear baseball hats with a straight brim any longer. If you saw me, you could find much wrong with me. So yes, it's like throwing a yeah, just about the hat. Uh, what the fuck? What's wrong with you people? Like, do you really think I care what you think about what I wear or what I do? No, it's not like that. It's like I couldn't give a fuck. Okay, seriously. I love the interaction. I love the connection. But if somebody's gonna like be a fashion plate or be negative, or it's like I'll just disregard you. I mean, it's not even close. And I'm not a follower. I've never been a follower, for crying out loud. I mean, look at my life. If I was a follower, I would not have had the life that I'm having. Let's see. Jan says, my son lives in Columbus and this is happening in Springfield, Ohio, and he's away from there. This is sick what they're doing to these cats. Breaks my heart. Thank you, Gypsy. I appreciate that. Yeah, and and by the way, I recommend you be you too, guys. Like, don't do what I'm doing, or don't wear what I'm doing, or don't follow the crowd. It's not, it's like, of all things, it's just dumb. It's just dumb. It's a dumb comment. That's all. So the let me take you to my X thread, which is just fire tonight. And gosh, how far back do I go? I'm going to play some various things to you. For you, I'm sorry. Okay, so I got to wait for that stuff. Okay, so I want to start with gosh, what do I start with? Well, you know what? Let me start here. Let me start here. This was Juanita Broderick, and this was my first video of the week. And I think you're gonna dig it. I don't know who this man is, but he's just talking about the subject, which I've heard about and I've researched, and it is true. And it's Catholic.calling on TikTok.
So I started reading it, and I'm like, whoa, holy moly. I'm like, what the heck is this? It was just a secular, pure scientific thing, but it talked about this thing called, here's the word, fetal microchimerism. Write that puppy down, okay? Fetal microchimerism. The chimerism is CH, not a K. Okay, it's a hard CH. Fetal microchimerism. So some scientists in different universities around the world had discovered this on just a secular level. They were doing studies on women in like Sweden, even in Washington State and a couple of places around the world simultaneously, on women. And they discovered that during these research, some of the women got sick because it was a long-term study. And they found that there were cells in these women's bodies, living cells that were not hers. And they were like, okay, this is interesting. What do we make of this? And they discovered that when these women were sick, they thought, well, these cells, through their studies, are the cells of her children. Now, some of these women had not been a mother in the physical sense of having a baby in them recently at all, like a long time ago. But they discovered that it was the cells of their children, living cells, still in her body. But they thought, well, this doesn't bode well for motherhood. It looks like the cells of her children are causing the illness. This is not good. They kept studying. Guess what they discovered? Oh, that's not the case. It's the opposite. When a mother becomes sick, the cells of her children, all the children she's had, rush to the area of her body to fight for her life. Scientifically proven, fetal microchimerism. Whoa! But some amazing things were discovered as well. Other than that, many of these women, when they were having the testing done, didn't put down that they were mothers. So the scientists were confused because there are cells in your body that are not yours, and you didn't put that you were a mother. This is weird. Well, they were, but they didn't put certain things on there. Maybe out of embarrassment or just, it's difficult to deal with. Miscarriage, right? So many women experience that, but you're a mother, but they didn't put it on there. But then it was understood, oh, okay, well, you were a mother, right? And you had the baby there for a period of time, because this cellular exchange happens within the first trimester of the pregnancy. Amazing stuff. But then there were others who said that they didn't have a miscarriage. You know what they said they had had? An abortion. Yeah. Making obviously the wrong decision, terminating the pregnancy, taking the life of the child, a horrible decision, of course. But you're a mother. And isn't it ironic that the life that was terminated now fights for yours? Yeah, scientifically proven, fetal microchimerism. And the studies are still being done because they found that women still, in their old age, still have cells of their children alive in their bodies, fighting for them. This is mind-blowing stuff, mind-blowing. One of the scientists in one of these articles, because after that I did a whole bunch of research, one of them was kind of making a funny, he said, we've always thought that mothers have an intuition, a sixth sense. My mother would. I could come home and be faking a smile, and she'd be like, Johnny, what's wrong? I'm like, how do you do that? How do you know, right? Well, this guy said, it's not like mom's watching over your shoulder. She's in your shoulder. Why? Because it happens both ways. All of you right now have living cells of your mother in your body right now. Even if your mother is no longer here, she's already deceased. She's still here on a cellular level in your body. That's amazing. You know, sometimes people will say in life, and rightly so, it's just we never fully understood it. If a mother experiences the death of a child, or when like a child experiences the death of a mother, what do we say? Part of me died when my mom died. Yeah, literally. Now, scientifically, this is proven. This is incredible.
How about that? It's incredible what God has created, and how I mean, just what this is, right? And this is what it's called. I'm going to show you so that you know the spelling and everything. Microchimerism is the absence of a small number of cells in an individual that have originated from another individual and are therefore genetically distinct. This phenomenon may be related to certain types of autoimmune diseases, although the responsible mechanisms are unclear. The term comes from the prefix micro plus chimerism, based on the hybrid chimera of Greek mythology. The concept was first discovered in the 1960s, with the term gaining usage in the 70s. In humans, and perhaps in all placental mammals, the most common form is fetal-maternal microchimerism, whereby cells from a fetus pass through the placenta and establish cell lineages within the mother. Fetal cells have been documented to persist and multiply in the mother for several decades. The exact phenotype of these cells is unknown, although several different cell types have been identified, such as various immune lineages, mesenchymal stem cells, and placental-derived cells. Yeah. This is quite fascinating, and so you guys know how you can do more research on that, should you so desire. This is the let me bring you back to this, and this is something that has happened. Why did I lose my spot here? I hate when that happens. But I can also do this. Let me do this. I'm going to go back and forth. This is the FBI agent that investigated Trump for colluding with Russians, was sentenced to 4 years in prison for colluding with Russians. I'm forgetting this dude's name. What's this guy's name? I'm forgetting his name right now, for crying out loud. Let's see. See if anybody's mentioning it down here. Charles McGonigal, one special agent in charge of counterintelligence division in New York, took money from Oleg Deripaska in exchange for information on a rival. So there you have it, folks. The left. Check this out. This is unbelievable. This is a gentleman who is has challenged well, I'll let you tell it. I'll let him tell you the story.
Now, they've already admitted in a deposition. Coomer has already admitted in a deposition that it's his post. It's his social post. And the question they asked me was, who gave you access to his social account? I said, I'm not going to tell you that.
Remember, Coomer was the guy who works for and ran the elections for Dominion. Eric Coomer.
Because you will hurt them. Because that's who you are. And they want to laugh.
This guy is being forced to give up his source for the proof that Dominion has the software can be hacked.
But see, there are actual police reports of people having to come to my home because there were people that came to my home with guns to do harm. There are actual police reports of someone coming to my home who was arrested, his truck towed, as a result of those threats. There was powder sent through the mail to my home to do harm and to terrorize my family. These are all there was a person with a gun across the street at a building across from my office. Those things happen. It's not hyperbolic. And here's another thing that we know about Coomer. He was involved in Mongolia. The elections there were complete trash with Dominion. Serbians wrote the code. Now, Eric Coomer says he never wrote an ounce of the code, but yet in other depositions, he has admitted that he wrote code. Now we find out that the data center that's in Serbia was funded by China. But we already knew that. I talked about that 3.5 years ago, but no one picked it up. Now there's a case against Patrick Byrne and Dominion Voting Systems, and in this case, they put a protective order on discovery that came over to Patrick Byrne that show that the person that's in the middle of everything happening at Dominion Voting System is Eric Coomer. You can't come back from it. You can't come back from any of this. And so now you got a crooked judge that in a case that I'm not a party to, who said, yeah, you can depose Altman again for the 12th time. Not 12th time. 4th time? 5th time? We'll let you depose him again. Because we want our pound of flesh out of Joe Altman, and we want to destroy him. And on top of that, $300 a day, that's not enough. And you need to pay it directly to Eric Coomer, and it's $1,000 a day. That's how absurd this entire thing is. And here I am. And I actually walked through the process and said to myself, what's going to end in November? I don't think it's ever going to end. Telling the truth has consequences, big ones. And I don't get to get out of the consequences on this one because the very people that are destroying our children, grooming them, trafficking them, sexualizing them, the very people that are destroying our economies, causing rapid inflation, the very people that are the enemy to the people are the very people that sit with black robes on. They are the evil political batons that are used against the American people. Every lawyer that saw the case with Coomer go down said they've never in their lives seen a case so wrought with deception, so wrought with reversible error, so wrought with disgusting corruption. Every single lawyer, without exception. And yet here we are.
Wow. So, this guy is bringing truth to light and being, harmed for it. $1,000 a day he's being forced to pay. That's absolutely crazy. Miss Mindersu, didn't Hawk show this earlier? I don't know, Miss Mindersu. This is not Hawk's show. This is my show. Sometimes I see his stuff, but I'm gonna, I'm sure we'll overlap stuff. We don't we're not on the same, track, as like, I don't know what he puts on his show if I'm not watching it. And a lot of people didn't see his show. Let's see. Robin, you okay, Dave? Yeah, what's going on? Are you okay? Yeah, prayers out to guys like this, guys. Prayers out to guys like this. This is crazy. Now, Joe Rambo, this is something that I shared with you earlier, and we don't need to hear this woman, but she says vigilant 2 times. Okay. And it's very interesting that, chatter, trains, buses, be vigilant. Trump also writes the truth about the proverbial bus. Okay. That was earlier as well today. And so, here's the thing. And I'm gonna make a prediction here, and it's not really a major prediction, but we're gonna watch the debate tomorrow. If you'd like to join me, I'm gonna have it on, and I'm gonna start at about 15 minutes before showtime. I'm very excited to see it. It's a part of the show that I think we're absolutely going to enjoy. But when we see how badly she does, even if she does well, that doesn't speak to the many things that she's done, which are, basically a joke. But the other thing is that if she does badly, as things happen, what happens after, when Democrats have bad news? Well, that's when they bring out the false flags. And let's see. This was something that I posted today. Sometimes I got to take you there with me. There you are. Sometimes you can't tell the public the truth. You must show them. Only then will people find the will to change. Crimes against children unite all humanity, cross party lines, difficult truths. And unfortunately, the false flags pop up with all double Fs. But God woke you up for a reason, without question. Follow the pen. Where's Hunter? But one of the drops, it talks about, Democrats with, bad news. Let me see if I can find it that way. They've tried every trick in the playbook. Call me everything under the sun. But if I'm all those terrible things, how come I beat them so badly? Maybe they're just not very good. The fact is they're going crazy only because they know they can't beat me in 2020. The other thing is they loved him before he ran for office. They absolutely loved Trump. And he speaks about that as well. Let's see. Attempts by Dems, fake news, and those guilty of treason to shape the public narrative prior to, by providing falsehoods will fail. Truth to light, no sleep in D.C. And I'm not finding the one I want. There's a lot here to sift through. But basically, I just want to warn you of the false flags that are incoming, if you will, based on the fact that vigilant came up. False flag weather alert worldwide. Stay vigilant and maintain situational awareness. She's speaking of the tragedies in California, which we know are also, a part of the. I'm gonna play her. I've got to play her because there is some significance to what she's saying here that I'm going to bring down for you. And let me get to you. So much today. Here it is.
Over the weekend, and he urges residents to remain vigilant and listen to local officials as they continue to investigate. The administration is in touch with state and local officials, and federal law enforcement is supporting the local investigation and efforts to apprehend the suspects. Next, we are praying for the thousands of Americans under mandatory evacuations under orders out west. Senior administration officials are monitoring the fires, including the Line Fire in California and the Davis Fire in Nevada, and are in close touch with state and local leaders to ensure they have the resources they need. Over 7,000 federal personnel are supporting local firefighting efforts across multiple states. Residents in the affected areas should remain vigilant and heed the warnings of local officials, especially those who have been ordered to evacuate. Over the weekend, and
So she's talking about the fires, and obviously, so what's happening on the drops under vigilant are the well, let me take you back here first. Here's Oregon in 2020, September 12th. We got a Delta coming up. Level 2 evacuation terrified. Fires raging everywhere. I've been posting to you here for about 2 weeks about these fires. It is real. The rednecks around me are on alert. The others are completely brainwashed. There is no hope for them. Their eyeballs are no longer connected to their brains. Like 90% of people are hopelessly brainwashed by the media. This is Sammy Scott, arson, probation violation, felon in possession of body armor, probation violation, PCS meth. Stay safe, be vigilant. Oregon fires. Arson is extremism. Never in my life would think I'd witness domestic terrorism attacks, especially right behind my house. We heard fireworks, walked out and saw giant flash, and then a whole house engulfed in flames. Random car fire bombed it on Jennings, and I pray the family got out. Trying to keep my wife and daughter calm while quickly loading what we could to escape what was hard. Watching suspicious cars full of people slowly driving up and down the street while trying to load, hoping nothing is thrown at us, is terrifying. I hope no one has to go through this, and whoever's doing this, just stop. Do you really want to murder innocent families? Everyone keep your head on a swivel, watch your street, neighbors, and most importantly, protect your family and everyone you can. So Q, I believe, is telling us not only that these fires are very possibly or probably arson, but also, be on the lookout, be vigilant, see something, say something. Narrative change needed. Well, why would the Democrats need the White House need a narrative change? And the narrative change is going to be the fact that they're going to try to change the narrative of how badly. I don't do Washington Post. Former FBI lawyer Lisa Page fires back on charges of anti-Trump bias affected Trump and Clinton probes. And she is obviously somebody that we've been paying attention to because she and Peter Strzok were speaking of the taking down Trump so that he wouldn't stay in office. And so, but what I want to say is, I'm going to bring this down here. What I want to say about this is that, the Q drops are pretty significant in this regard on this vigilant story, and then of course the arson. Now, the other thing I wanted to say about the false flags, and I want to also say this about Kamala. Now, I think that my prediction that I mentioned is that I think she's going to look pretty bad in front of Trump, but also in the debate tomorrow night. And so they're going to have a narrative change and possibly a new batter, if you will. And so I think what might happen, and I've been thinking about this for a while, is that Joe may step aside before the end of term, and they bring Kamala in. And the sooner they do that, the better, because then they can make changes and they can make adjustments and they can even fudge those adjustments and make her look good since she took over. Like they could show like a definitive change so that voters for the next month see real change. That's what I think they might do if she does poorly. Yeah, they'll stoop to whatever level they can, right? I didn't see the interview with Hannity and Graham last night, but Graham was just in Ukraine, talking about how we got to help Ukraine. Interesting. He was almost yelling at him and calmed down and finished the interview. Who was almost yelling at who? Let's see. Catherine played Art of Silence for my Cairo doctor. He said yes. Awesome. Yeah. Linda, hi, hello, Dave. You just popped up and you sound as soulful and wise as ever. God bless you. Thank you, Linda. Appreciate that. Yeah. Arson is extremism, Bamwell, right? Lassie, I am about 1 hour from the line fire in California. The air is very smoky. It is very, very hot in California this week. I remember the fires, folks. For those of you who have seen my highlight reel of my football, my beach football, there's that one shot where we're wearing masks and I'm wearing a mask, and that wasn't during COVID. That was during the fires when, a lot of smoke was in the air and you had to protect yourself from all that nastiness. Let's see. It's Raggedy Ann doll, Dave, as you once called her. Perfect name. Yeah, I call her the Black Raggedy Ann. So she does look like a clown. She really does. Yeah. Appreciate this, Linda. Yeah. Excuse me. I feel like I was going to sneeze. Hannity is no bueno in my humble opinion. I don't watch Fox. I watch DaveSned, bro. Thank you, brother. Listen, Q did say to watch Hannity, but I think that and Q also said watch California, Jennifer. Absolutely. Good point. And yeah, and so, but I think it's because they're using Hannity like they use, Musk and others for this great awakening. And because the other night Hannity had those comms, but again, it's not him. It's they're giving him a script, right? Yeah, I bet ABC gives her the questions ahead of time. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, they pushed Joe aside and put her in, but I'm talking about like he'll step aside maybe as the president because he's not even around anymore. So that's what I'm talking about. It's not the race. Lassie says, Dave, you're glitching. Is anybody else experiencing that? Thanks for that heads up. Oh my God. Ren's Blackety Ann. That's funny. Blackety Ann. This is interesting, Norma. We're at the time of the month when things happen. I wonder if tomorrow's when Joe passes away and therefore the debate gets canceled because Kamala is busy dealing with that and next step starts. And then she won't have a debate with him because she's so busy running the country. I could totally see that. Remember, folks, they'll pull out all the stops. I mean, they created, CV for crying out loud. Okay, no one else is glitching. It looks like. Let's see. Yeah, the fires are intentional. Wake Trillium. Also, many earthquakes in California. Jan, I don't know if I can get myself to watch it tomorrow. I'm at the point I can't even listen to her anymore. Well, I'm looking. I'm doing it because I want to see how Trump handles her. Yeah. Cash Patel believes that may be the case too in October. Is that right? I mean 2 months. They'll have 2 months for her to this. So the sooner they do it, the better. Let's see. That's funny. They had a Trump impersonator in a hotel room drilling her with the questions. I bet that's funny. No glitching. No glitching. Hey, Liberty's mine. Good to see you. Let's see. Or she gets COVID, right? Yeah. The whole world's a stage. Yep. Yep. I thought for sure she was going to come down with COVID today. Yeah, I think Trump will wipe the floor with her. I think it's the kind of thing, June, where I don't even think that he's necessarily going to. Well, I think he's going to wipe the floor with her, but I think he's probably thinking, I don't let me not piss off the women anymore. Like maybe I can grab some of the women vote from her. So we'll see. Jennifer, I love being able to watch an intelligent mind like you, Dave, and all the wonderful, bright people who watch you. Thank you, Jennifer. That's really, really sweet. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. And I tell you, when I'll give you an example. I'll tell you what I was doing today. I was watching. I had a conversation with my friend Ed, who I'll have on again with you because he's really fascinating. And we were talking about if how to manifest and how we're probably living in assimilation. So I watched this movie today called A Glitch in the Matrix. And by the way, I'm looking at you through teeth marks here, because little guy got a hold of every single pair that I've had, because now he can get up on stuff. Like he puts his big old paws up. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Yeah, chewing up my eyeglasses here. Yeah, yeah, and so at any rate, So I watched this movie, A Glitch in the Matrix, and it's about, are we living in a simulation? And I really went down that rabbit hole. And I want to have a show on that with you because I think it's really fantastic. And it's just, I've looked into it quite a bit, and I do think there's something to it. Buffering, yeah, we got some more chewing ahead of us. Yeah, Lassie, thank you for that. Right, I agree, Jennifer. Very happy to have found Dave in this group. Yeah, and share this out, folks, if you would. Bring some new folks to join us. I'd love that. Let's see. Let me get back to it. So the vigilant thing, and also not only her vigilant thing, but the buses, right? So and then let me take you to this. This is this look, okay, is and Joe Rambo again, just dropping some fire. Guys, if you don't follow Joe Rambo, please check him out on X at brainstorm_Joe. And here he is. He's showing the mask because it's the same damn outfit.
Sweet tooth tonight. Somebody stop me.
So it's the same damn outfit that that she's wearing. I mean, look at this outfit here. Yellow jacket, black and white tie. And who's wearing a mask? The person that she's speaking for is wearing a mask. We know that to be true. Okay. Oh, this was the bus comment. Okay. That Joe's telling us about. This was Trump's truth. Bernie Sanders really threw Comrade Kamala Harris under the proverbial bus, essentially said very clearly that she's a total phony, once a Marxist, always a Marxist. And this is one of the be vigilant chatter trains, buses, be vigilant. And also, what's important to understand is the false flag weather alert, stay vigilant. And we're seeing all these, and then Rubber Duck did it too, by the way. Look at this, Rubber Duck. Okay. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, right? But I also want to, I got to show you something else too. And that is, okay, now he's telling me he wants to go out. This young lady, and I gotta show you this, and just think buses, okay? Just think buses. Let's see. Let me bring you back to this.
Hate crime hoax coming out of Chula Vista, California today. Turns out a 15-year-old has been arrested and is being interviewed by the FBI. You see, he spray painted a whole bunch of elementary schools with the N-word and swastikas. MAGA kids were, of course, blamed for this, but it turns out the teenager is the son of an elected Democratic Party official right here in San Diego County. Number 2 story coming out of East County. Turns out migrants have been trying to board school buses yesterday and today. An email went out from the district to parents saying, don't worry, parents, when we come to a school bus stop and there's a group of migrants, we're just going to keep driving and we're going to leave your kids there at the school bus stop. Number 3 story is just breaking, and it's out of Chula Vista. Turns out Andrea Cardenas, a disgraced city councilwoman for Chula Vista, who pled guilty to stealing over $200,000 in COVID money. Today, the judge gave her no jail time and just 2 years probation. So that's the Reichert wrap up. See you tomorrow.
And I'm back with you, folks. Sorry for the delay. I had to take care of the little guy. Gave him a bone, and he is happy. So we've heard the story of the buses, right? So we're hearing more and more about the buses. So I think that is significant as well. And my desk is way off track here. So I believe that to be very significant. So keep an eye out for that. And let me take you back to some of the other things that are happening. Now, this is really important. This is happening right in Tennessee. And this is really hard to fathom that this kind of thing is happening, but this is what needs to be exposed, my friends. Here we go.
Hello, everyone. I'm Assistant Chief Sean Taylor with the Millersville Police Department in Middle Tennessee. Many of you may have seen my video last week regarding the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation raiding our police department and my personal residence. They came and they seized evidence regarding corruption that we had locally that tied into corruption nationally, and they took all of our files so that we are unable to complete these cases. The cases that we've been working on affect every American. They affect us in the mortgages, fraudulent mortgages, human trafficking, narcotics trafficking, and many other crimes. We have crisscrossed the United States talking to state attorney generals, senators, congresspeople, and numerous law enforcement officials throughout the United States. We've identified a major corruption that's transnational. It involves the BRICS nations and China and investment companies and fraudulent mortgages on homes here in the United States in very key counties and key states. It goes into the election integrity and fraud, and is creating a geopolitical shift within our political system. This is a multifaceted attack from a foreign adversary who is paying off our local municipal, county, state, and federal politicians to keep from coming to light. We are moving forward with this case in other states and other arenas, even though they have taken our files and our information. This is very important to us. When I say us, I mean we the people. It's time that we the people come together. It's time that we stop allowing ourselves to be segregated by our own government. No matter what race you are, what creed, or what religion you are Americans. We need to stand together as Americans and demand accountability of our elected officials. It's time for this corruption to stop and for us to have our country back so that we know we leave it in the good hands to our children, our grandchildren, because if we don't stand up and do this, we will no longer have a country to hand over to them. I'd like to send a special thanks out to Mark Fincham. He wrote a very good article that all of you can go and read at yournews.com regarding the information that I'm talking about tonight. One of the things that happened that really upsets me that the TBI did at my residence was they urinated in my bathtub and tracked urine throughout my home. To me, that was the government saying, piss on you, America. And that's not okay. It's time to stand up, unify, come together peacefully, and demand accountability. Thank you very much.
Pissed in his bathtub? and then obviously stepped in his bathtub and tracked piss all throughout his house. What? What the hell is going on? Um, wow. Um, Real quick shout out to thank you, patron and executive producer Timmy Cornett. Timmy, thank you very much for your generous donation. Much, much appreciated, my brother. Also, thank you, patrons Lisa Bowen, Romeo Custodio, Craig Bowen, David Zinsmaster, Sandra McElroy. Sorry, Sandra. Karen Billick. Much love to you all. And my friends, that was the donations over the weekend since Friday. So thank you very, very much for that. And if you would like to support the work that I do here, you may do so in the methods that you see below. What a folks, the only bad thing about this whole scenario, all this stuff that we're seeing, is basically that we're able to things are being exposed. Things are absolutely being exposed. And what we're seeing now, we haven't seen before on a scale that we're seeing it presently. And I want to give you an example. Here is, I've said this. You all know that I basically said that the reason RFK Jr. is in the running for president is because and I believe that he's been a part of the operation, that he's going to bring the very important conversation of jabs to the national stage. And I'm going to show some other conversations about him. I'm going to feature him a couple times tonight, but I have to drop YouTube and Facebook to do that. So if you would, Facebook, I'm gonna. It's probably going to be another half an hour before I do that. And I know I said this the other night and I didn't do it, but the things I'm going to show you tonight, the speech by him, I cannot have on YouTube and Facebook. So right now there's about 200 of you on YouTube and Facebook. Would you all drop the Rumble link and the X link, please, in the chat for those on YouTube and Facebook to be able to get over there? I really would appreciate that because I don't want to lose anybody. Right now we're at a little bit over 1,500 beautiful humans in the Sned Shed tonight. So thank you for being with me. And let me get you back to this that I want to play for you here. Do I want to play this one first? Yes.
I saw Kamala, at the convention, and she gave a speech that was very bellicose and belligerent. It was a kind of speech that was written by neocons and the CIA. The first time in history, they had a CIA former director speaking right before her, Leon Panetta. They had military people speaking at the Democratic convention. Democrats were the anti-war party. They were the pro-Constitution party. They were the party that was against Wall Street and representing the little guys, the cops, the firefighters, union and labor people. In the 2020 election, roughly 50% of the people in this country voted for Donald Trump. But that group that voted for Donald Trump represented 30% of the wealth in our country. The 50% of the people that voted for Joe Biden represented 70% of the wealth. There's been an inversion now where the Republican Party has become the party of the common man, of working people, of the middle class.
Yeah.
And the Democratic Party has become the party of Wall Street, of the military industrial complex, of big pharma, big agriculture, big tech, the big banking systems, and all of what Donald Trump calls the deep state, which is this web of financial interests that is not necessarily a little conspiracy, but it's a conspiracy of self-interest that functions together in tandem to shift wealth upward, to clamp down totalitarian controls, and to transform this country from the world's exemplary democracy into a corporate kleptocracy and a very, very oppressive oligarchical system, the kind of system that we fought a revolution to overthrow in 1776.
Wow. Bless you for saying that.
Look at these things. Oh, by the way, I cut it off a little bit too quickly. Maha, Make America Healthy Again. These two together, my friends, and I've been a Bobby Kennedy fan for a very long time, because I was fighting for medical freedom in California for many, many, many years, and he and I know many of the same people. I never met him along the way, which is kind of odd. But I wasn't supporting him for president, obviously, because I was supporting Donald Trump, and I thought that anything would get in the way of that was not something that I would want to support. Diana Harlan, thank you very much for your donation. Much appreciated tonight. And I'm going to show you something else regarding RFK, and it was sent to me by my friend Jim Agnew, who Jim does the and also thank you, Jim, for your support as well. You and Jasmine, they do, as you know, my friends, the silver and the Mysterium. This is the stuff that I spray in my water, Mysterium, and it's silver, gold, and copper, and it has a very, very high frequency field, very powerful, and it raises the frequency of the water and thus raises your frequency as well. Also great for the face and just general the skin in general. I don't know. Do I have them up? Well, I'll tell you. I'll put her. Yeah, I should have her information here somewhere. So that you guys can order that. But it's and I'll put it up here a little bit later because I think I need to add that. And I'm going to play this other video that Jim sent me today, and that's why they came up in conversation here today. Let's see. And special thanks also to patron and executive producer Helen Overton. Helen, for your much appreciated support over the years, is just been amazing to experience, and I'm so grateful for you. So here we go, my friends. Let me take you. We all know this dude here. This is the guy that Jim saw. I'm going to play the whole thing for you. Of course,
I contribute a lot of that to the aerosol spraying that they're doing up into the sky. And while I was doing some of my investigations, I ran across this clip from Robert Kennedy Jr. and
his trees were dying from the top down. That's what he's talking about.
I think, they're programming us for very short attention spans. This one will require 17 minutes of your full attention. You might even need to rewind and watch it a couple of times. But this information I'm about to unleash on you, you need to know.
So, I look back on, in my new book, I talk about the history of the U.S. bioweapons program. And from the beginning, the CIA was running the bioweapons program. Why? Because we didn't have a bioweapons program after World War II. And the CIA's first operation was called Operation Paperclip. And it was an operation to get all the bioweapons and nuclear and chemical scientists out of Germany and Japan, where they had an extensive bioweapons program. The Japanese had a horrendous program where they did live vivisections on 3,000 people. They killed them all during the operation, removing their infected organs while they were alive with no anesthesia. And these were horrible, horrible scientists. The CIA elevated them, brought them over to Fort Detrick, downloaded them, and made them the heads of hospital systems and pharmaceutical companies in Japan, and continued to work with them. And they brought all the German scientists over here. And then they did all these experiments unwittingly on the American public. They sprayed toxins in National Airport. They sprayed them in the Pentagon air conditioning system. They put poison water in NIH. They put light bulbs filled with bacteria that they broke on the grates and contaminated the New York City subway system. Some of those microbes still in the subway today. They did aerial dosing and from ships of about 60 million Americans. They dosed San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York, Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia. All of the seaside towns were dosed from the air, and a lot of the Midwestern cities were also dosed. All unwitting. They did 200 outdoor tests on Americans, unwitting. And they developed bioweapons that by 1969 had a nuclear equivalent. They could kill people at 29 cents per death, according to a CIA study, which they're bragging about. And then in 69, President Nixon shocks the world by going to Fort Detrick and ending the U.S. bioweapons program. He was worried that we were creating bioweapons that could be reproduced for nothing. They were kind of a poor man's nuclear bomb. Anybody could reproduce them and we were publishing how you did it. So they were giving blueprints to foreign nations to create these things that could be used against us. And he said, why are we doing this? We have nuclear bombs. We don't need these things. And we have a monopoly on nuclear bombs. 7 nations have them. We've agreed not to give them to anybody else. Why are we letting these guys get, weapons that are going to be turned against us? So he shut down the whole program. The Pentagon destroyed all of its bioweapons, but the CIA went into Fort Detrick right before the Pentagon went in there and took cultures of all the different weapons and hid them in a warehouse. A lot of it was in New York City and Washington, D.C., and they continued. We signed the Bioweapons Treaty, which Nixon, one of the great accomplishments of Nixon, he got all the nations of the world to sign it. We signed the Geneva Convention finally after delaying it for 50 years. The CIA was breaking the law the entire time. Then in 2001, in June, the CIA sponsors the first of its pandemic simulations. It simulates a biological attack on Washington, D.C. by Saddam Hussein. This is in June 2001. That simulation got international press, and a lot of the CIA people like Judith Miller from the New York Times was promoting it, going around doing all the talk shows. It triggered 2 Senate hearings, one by Joe Biden's committee. And that hearing was in September 2001. What happened in September 2001? The 9/11. So that hearing was going on during 9/11. As soon as 9/11 happened, the neocons, which were working on all this stuff with the CIA, pulled out the Patriot Act, a 350-page statute from a shelf where it had been waiting for a while, And in 1 week said, we want to pass this in a week. There's only one member of Congress who read it, which was Dennis Kucinich. And he went crazy and said, you have no idea this is the end of American democracy if you do this. It allows the CIA to spy on Americans. One of the things the Patriot Act did is it did not get rid of the Geneva Convention or the Bioweapons Treaty, but it said no federal official can be prosecuted for violating those two statutes. So it reopened the bioweapons arms race globally. And when a week after, when the Patriot Act was being debated and it was being held up by 2 senators, there was an anthrax attack on the US Capitol. It was blamed on Saddam Hussein, and the neocons all said, see, we were right in the pandemic simulation, Saddam Hussein attacked us. And we used that as a justification to go to war against Saddam Hussein. And within 2 days, we passed the Patriot Act. Who got the anthrax? 2 Senate offices, Tom Daschle and Patrick Leahy, the 2 senators who were blocking the Patriot Act. The FBI did a 1-year investigation. They said this anthrax was unique. It was Ames anthrax, and there's only one place in the world it could have come from, Fort Detrick, the CIA lab. So we went to war, we passed the Patriot Act, and immediately started giving $2 billion a year to bioweapons development. The Pentagon didn't want to do it because it was nervous about the legality, because it was a death penalty to violate the Geneva Convention. Oh, you would have been committing a war crime, even if somebody told you it was okay. It wasn't. And so they funneled it through DTRA and DARPA. They funneled all of that money to NIH, to NIAID, which became the primary spear tip of bioweapons development. So Tony Fauci became the bioweapons czar in 2001. His budget went up by $2.2 billion. He was personally given a 68% raise from the military. That's why he was the highest paid individual in the federal government, because he was getting this 68% bonus every year from the military. But it meant that he could not stop. And the thing the military wanted was gain-of-function studies, where they could take wild viruses and turn them into bioweapons. And bioweapons development always includes vaccine development, because unlike chemical weapons, with bioweapons, there's always blowback. It's called the boomerang effect. If you give your enemy bubonic plague, your guys are going to get it first, too. They're going to get it quickly. So the only way you can deploy a bioweapons is if you have already developed a vaccine. So the race is to develop a vaccine simultaneously with bioweapons, and then you can deploy the bioweapons, and your enemy will take a couple of years to develop the vaccine. And you can inoculate all of your team. So in 2014, 3 of Tony Fauci's bugs escaped from federal labs. And their escapes were public. And it caused a huge brouhaha. There were Senate hearings, and people were immensely upset. And 300 scientists wrote a petition to President Obama saying, you have to shut down Tony Fauci. He's going to cause a global pandemic. And Obama declared a moratorium and ordered Fauci to shut down the 18 studies he was then doing. As I show in my book, he didn't do it. He instead took that science and he moved it offshore to the Wuhan lab and to the Ukraine. And when he did that, he was not the only one who did it. Tony Fauci spent about $29 million on gain-of-function science in Wuhan. But the CIA spent over $100 million. And the military spent about that much too, about $64 million. And the CIA funneled the money, most of it through USAID. But the CIA, as we now know, was also running this organization called the EcoHealth Alliance, which Fauci was funneling his money through. It was like a laundromat where they funneled federal money so that their fingerprints would not be visible on those studies. And so that's important to understand now. Just to get to the final thing, in my book, and Tony Fauci, if any of you end up reading the book, that last chapter talks about all of these pandemic simulations. I've been studying the CIA for much of my adult life. Because of my family's relationship, I wrote a book, which to me is my best book, American Values. And it is the story of my family's 60-year fistfight with the CIA, which began with my grandfather, Joseph Kennedy, who served on the Hoover Commission in 1955 and recommended the disbanding of the CIA's plans division. Its division that was fixing elections and assassinating leaders and all of that. The CIA never forgave my family for that. And then when my uncle came in, after the Bay of Pigs, he fired the top 3 officials, Bissell and Goodell and Allen Dulles, who then made himself the head of the Warren Commission 3 years later. And when my uncle died, he told a reporter, "I'm glad the little shit is dead. He thought he was a god." And so I know a lot about the CIA. I've gotten their manuals. I paid over $1,000 to get these manuals because they're training manuals from MK Ultra, and MK stands for mind control, MK Naomi, MK Dietrich. It all came out of Fort Detrick and NIH, and then 150 colleges around our country where they were funding these studies. And if you look at what they do in these simulations, they're using all of these techniques that they developed in colleges, college laboratories, social scientists and other scientists, medical scientists for years who were studying how do you control individual behavior, but also mass behavior? How do you induce mass psychosis? How do you create Manchurian candidates? How do you do all these? They had all these colleges studying these, and how do you impose centralized foreign control on indigenous populations by coming into a country, by using propaganda, by using fear, by sowing chaos, by destroying relationships, destroying faith in institutions, driving people apart and creating chaos so they will invite in an authority who will give them peace and safety. And all of these mind control techniques are designed to accelerate that process. And they study the Stockholm syndrome, for example. If you lock people, down, they become grateful to their captors, and they become angry at the people who criticize their captors. And they believe that the only way that they can escape this confinement is through total obedience and total compliance to their jailers. But one of the most interesting experiments was called Milgram. And there was associate scientist at Yale, a sociologist called Stanley Milgram, who was part of the MK Ultra program. And he conducted this experiment where he recruited subjects from every walk of American life. There were students, there were professors, there were business people, there were blacks, whites, everybody from the New Haven area. And he would put the subject in a chair at a table where there was a dial in front of them that they could administer an electric shock to a person who was tied in the chair in the next room, who they told was tied in a chair, but he was actually a Confederate of Milgram's. He was an actor. And when they turned this dial up and administered the supposed electric shock, they could hear the man in the other room screaming, shouting, begging, struggling, pleading with them, crying. And most of the people who were participating in this experiment begged to stop. A lot of them were crying and telling the doctor was standing behind them saying, turn it up, turn it down, turn it higher, turn it down, turn it even higher, turn it down. And 67% of them turned it up to 250 volts where it was marked potentially fatal. 67%. And you can go on Wikipedia and look this up. The Milgram experiment. So, but 33% of the people got up and walked out. And what Milgram said, that if you, for 67% of the people, if you have an authority figure that has some imprimatur of legitimacy, like a doctor's title, that 67% of people will take his orders, even if it means violating their most sacred values. They'll go against everything they believe in. And to me, it occurred to me many times during that 2020 that we were all involved in this huge Milgram experiment, and that Anthony Fauci was, Dr. Milgram telling us you can violate the Constitution, you can censor speech, you can close churches, you can shut businesses, you can ban jury trials, and you can, tell people what they can and can't do, and you can gaslight them and marginalize them and vilify them, and no cruelty is too great for somebody who disobeys. And what I would say to you is that 33% of the people walked out, and the people in this room are the 33% who wouldn't be told what to do. And what our job is now is to fight for the 67% till they wake up and till they're able to fight for themselves, to restore the freedoms that all of us believe in. And I'll leave you with 3 thoughts. One is that any power that government takes from the people, it will never return voluntarily. Number 2 rule, every power that government takes, it will ultimately abuse to the maximum extent possible. And number 3, nobody ever complied their way out of totalitarianism. The only thing we can do is resist. Thank you all very much.
Well, that's what I got going on in the forest here. I'm dropping this video off for you guys so you can kind of wrap your head around what's going on. Robert Kennedy Jr. is dropping a lot of truth bombs on social media and stuff. I want to get this information out to you guys before it's deleted or he's deleted or we're deleted, just so you can hear it and so you can see what's going on. This is a planned out execution of a planned out plan, okay? War roomed, war gamed, and the whole
nuclear.
This was Truth Justice. I don't know who who he was talking to here. Anthony, that's a great question. I don't know who the audience was. And folks, please move over to rumble.com, my channel over there, tonight's show. That this link will take you directly to it, which is in the chat. Because I'm going to have to drop YouTube and Facebook here very shortly. Also, if you want to go to x.com, you can go directly to my my channel there. Look under Hawks Mustard Seeds comment. Excuse me. And it's right there. x.com/DaveSned, excuse me. So, because I want to get into some stuff around medicine that we're not going to be able to deal with those channels, right? So, so RFK, and I've said this as well, he's going to do more with Donald Trump than he ever could do on his own, and with the Q team as well. And I think this has been a long time coming. and I think this is a part of the plan. And I think it's absolutely fantastic because it's going to be. Kath, you're the second one that says it keeps freezing. Please refresh and come back in. Lassie, did you have success when you did that? And what were you able to do to stop the problem? Right? Yeah, he's spot on, right? Renz and Dina, love it. Yeah, it's great stuff. Um, let's see. Ren says, I got the real Dr. Fauci recently. Haven't started it yet. Still making my way through Trump's books. It took me hours just to get through the intro, because the introduction, even, I mean, the book is worth it even if you just read the introduction. It's unbelievable. Bamlo said, I bought Melania's book today. It's not released till 10/1. Very cool. That ought to be very interesting. I watched a documentary about the experiment he's talking about. It was horrible. Yeah, RB Chef, I think I watched that same thing. And I'll take you to this, folks, just a little bit more information on this. It's called the Milgram experiment. And as you know, I'll use WikiLeaks, Wikipedia for basic stuff like this, like, basic knowledge. But if you're doing any research, the Wikipedia is good for dates and historical specifics of wars or names of things and so forth. But beyond that, I don't trust Wikipedia. He also has other well-known experiments, Small World Experiment. But beginning on August 7, 1961, a series of social psychology experiments were conducted by Yale University psychologist Stanley Milgram. By the way, Yale is where Skull and Bones is, right? And it's the third oldest institution in the U.S., who intended to measure the willingness of study participants to obey an authority figure who instructed them to perform acts conflicting with their personal conscience. Participants were led to believe that they were assisting an unrelated experiment in which they had to administer electrical shocks to a learner. These fake electric shocks gradually increased to levels that would have been fatal had they been real. The experiments found unexpectedly that a very high proportion of students or subjects would fully obey the instructions, with every participant going up to 300 volts and 65% going up to the full 450 volts. Milgram first described his research in a 1963 article in the Journal of Abnormal and Social Psychology, and later discussed his findings in greater depth in his 1974 book, Obedience to Authority: An Experimental View. This, when I, talk to you about the coming, and I'm gonna get off YouTube right now, folks. We're at just about 1,800 beautiful folks in the Sned Shed. We got 114 and on YouTube and 36 on Facebook. And I ask you to please join us at those links I dropped for you. The Indoctrination, no space, on Rumble, and at Dave Snedeker on X, as I need to drop these off. So folks, come on over. Let me see. I'm going to remove. Let's see.